Hello everyone, today October 25, 2021. Our title is When Do You? So we are going to complete that question. How, Miss and I, using the expressions we learned the previous class. So remember one more time. The title here is When Do You? So let's see. Remember the previous class, we talked about some expressions like, for example, set up the table, clean my room, wash the dishes, do laundry, make my bed, and walk the dog. As you can see here, there is a box. And this is a list of verbs. One more time, set, clean, wash, do, make, and walk. Those are verbs. Verbs. Remember, please, verbs. But in the new form, we are going to conjugate those verbs. I am going to show you to make you know. So please remember, those are verbs. Set, clean, wash, do, make, walk. For example, in this case, you will see one more time the list. In this case, here we have the word match. Match. We are going to match with the correct conjugation. So for example, here we have set, and here we have sets. Clean, cleans. Wash, washes. Do, does. Make, makes. Walk, walks. Remember that this part must be written on your notebook. Please remember to write this on your notebook. If you haven't finished, if you need to complete something, you can stop here and copy this. Set, sets. Clean, cleans. Wash, washes. Do, does. Make, makes. Walk, walks. In this case, you can see that many verbs, remember, those are verbs. We add the letter S here. But if you say miss, not all the words, not all the verbs. And yes, you are right. As you can see here, now the verb do, when we conjugate the verb, here we have ES. And this is not the only one. Here we have another verb. This is on the irregular verbs that the variation change. So we must pay close attention on that to conjugate well. In this case, here we have the word wash, or well, in this case, washes, when we use it in the third person. So one more time. There are some verbs that you only add the letter S, but also exists verbs that end with ES, like for example, do and wash. That when we conjugate, instead of saying do, we use does. And instead of using wash, we use washes. So pay close attention to what our friend says. In this case, oh, all the answers are correct. That's right. So for example, here, look here, it says, our friend says, remember to conjugate the verbs in the third person. So this is really important. Conjugate a verb, conjugate. So now we can move on. Let's see. Move on here. Wait a second. Good. So now we are going to ask and answer questions. So look here, ask, can answer. For example, we are going to read the question. In this case, when does he wash the dishes? When does he wash the dishes? So look here, he, because of the boy, and wash the dishes because of the action. Look here, the action. The boy wash dishes. But the question says when. When. We need to know that the exactly time he does that activity. So one more time. When does he wash the dishes? The answer is he washes the dishes after school. So you can see here in the information that here we have go to school 8 o'clock in the morning. So he spends the time in the school, and then when he gets back home, he has to do something. What is that? Wash the dishes. That's why the question says, when does he wash the dishes? So the answer says, he washes the dishes after school. And we are going to stop here. Washes. But Miss Nanai, you say we must write the word wash the dishes. Yes, because that is the expression. But when we use that expression in a sentence, because this is a sentence, we conjugate a verb. He washes the dishes after school. So look here, after school. One more time. He washes the dishes after school. So now we can see another example about it. Look here, another, this one. One more time. Remember that we are going to ask and answer questions. Ask and answer questions. In this case, look here. Here we have walk the dog, and we are not talking about a boy. In this case, it's a, look here, a girl. So the pronoun change. We are not going to use he. We are going to use she because it's a girl. Now, let's read the question together. When does she walk the dog? One more time. When does she walk the dog? In this case, the information says she walks the dog at 6:40 a.m. in the morning, and then she goes to school. In this case, the answer is she walks the dog before school. But Miss Anai, the previous answer was he washes the dishes after school. But in this case, before, yes, because the girl does this activity before school. Before school, you see here, she walks the dog before school. And now, one more time, another thing about this, walks. She walks the dog before school. She walks the dog before school. So now in this case, you can see that we are conjugating the verb. We don't write she walk. It will be incorrect. The answer is she walks the dog before school. And now remember that you are going to use before or after depending in the time that that person does the activity. Well, one more time, we are going to practice. When, remember, when does she walk the dog? When does she walk the dog? She walks the dog before school. She walks the dog before school. Now it's time to practice this. Look here. This activity you will see in your student book. So now in this case, when does he, in this case here we have make your bed, right? In this case, we are going to use the correct adjective possessive. If it's a boy, we use his. If it's a girl, we use her. For example, when does she make her bed? She make her bed. No. Here doesn't have the girl. In this case, it's a boy. We must pay close attention, Miss Danai. Let's see. So when does he make his bed? The answer is he makes his bed before school. Look here, before school. For example, we can make the question number 2. When does? That's right. When does she walk the dog? She walks the dog before school. What about number 3? When does, exact. When does he do laundry? When does he do laundry? He does laundry before school, and so on. Remember that you must pay close attention on that. So you must identify if we are talking about a girl or if we are talking about a boy to use the correct pronoun. And then see what is the chore that the boy or girl or the children are doing, right? Well, guys, that's all for today. Remember that if you have something that need to complete it, you can check this video. So that's all for today. Thank you so much.